Started excavating the palace in the beginning of our century in 1900. He bought the land and he spent a lot of his own money for this excavation. He has also reconstructed the palace, according to some archaeologists, too much. Many archaeologists accused him because of the exaggerated use of cement. Of course, Evans wanted to protect the floors made of alabaster, which is very easily destroyed because it has the property to absorb moisture. We are right now in the west court of the palace. It was paved with large flagstones. We can see the original pavement. We can notice the cement of the restoration between the original stones. The palace had 4 main entrances. We shall enter now through the west entrance, which was the official one. We shall follow the corridor down there, named the corridor of the procession because of the decoration on the wall with the so-called fresco of the procession, which represented 500 figures. Here in the palace we're going to see the copies of the frescoes. The original ones are exposed in the museum. By the rain, down there we can see the base of the round column. All the columns of the palace were made of wood. Carbonized remnants of the wooden columns have been discovered. That's why the columns we shall see in the palace are modern, all of them. Just the bases were discovered. It seems that the Minoans used the trunks of trees, maybe cypresses, put upside down to make the columns. That's why we shall see the shape of the reconstructed columns narrowing toward the bottom, imitating the original ones. We know this because of the frescoes that have been discovered showing the colors and the shape of the Minoan columns. We shall follow now this corridor named the corridor of the procession. As you can notice, between the stones, you can see this yellow cement vertically and horizontally. This symbolizes wood. It was wood there originally, and this is a reconstruction of Evans. It is a construction giving elasticity for earthquakes. The Minoans used to put vertical and horizontally wooden beams between the stones. So Evans has put this yellow cement representing wood. Look at the column there.
In the trees.
See the trees up there? They haven't quite woke up yet.
No, they haven't. They've just been screaming.
As soon as they wake up, they'll be on the ground.
Peacock?
Oh.
Base of the columns are the only thing discovered. They held olive oil and wine. Darn sun. Now it appears we're standing on the second floor. Definitely an open house.
So it was the storerooms of the palace. The palace had 18 narrow storerooms. These parts of the palace must have been very dark, illuminated by oil lamps that they used. No windows were discovered in the ground floor of the palace here. 150 jars have been discovered in fragments, today restored, for olive oil and wine. When the earthquake occurred, the jars overturned. The olive oil caught fire. That's why we see the alabaster slabs in the corridor still black and greasy. Below the floor, you see these rectangular chests used for the valuable objects. Remnants of gold and ivory have been discovered inside there. In the storerooms, tablets made of clay have been discovered carrying the linear B writing, which is the writing of the Mycenaeans, showing that the palace was occupied by them. Continue.
Burned alabaster.
Different frescoes are exposed here. All these are copies. The fragments in relief show that these fragments in relief have been discovered in the original, and the rest was completed. We see religious dance here. Priestesses are dancing wearing the fashionable dress of that time, the longer dress which leaves the breast uncovered. We see olive trees, a group of women colored in white hair. A lot of jewelry was discovered in royal tombs. And the most interesting of the frescoes, the bull game. The acrobats have to clasp the bull by the horns, make the leap over the neck of the bull, and land behind the bull. We see three different phases of the game because we can see three persons at the same time, three acrobats. As Evans believed, it was one person, one acrobat. We see two women here colored in white, a man in the center colored in dark red. It's very interesting that women took part in the athletic contest, in the religious ceremonies, in social life in general. Probably as these people were killed very often during this game, people made the legend of the Minotaur that used to eat human beings. Probably were these people that were killed during this game, and the people that lived maybe outside Crete made this legend of the Minotaur that used to eat human beings. I'm going to tell you the legend later on. So we are going the same way. Room. The floor is original. We shall see benches on the sides made of alabaster with the black marks of the fire that destroyed the palace after the earthquake. Against the wall on the right, we shall see a copy of a wooden throne where remnants of a wooden throne have been discovered. We shall notice the size is rather small. The Minoans were not tall people. The medium 1 meter and 60 centimeters, which is about 5 feet, and it has an anatomical shape in order to be comfortable. The dark room inside is the throne room, where we shall see the original throne made of alabaster, the most ancient throne in Europe, very well preserved, standing in the original position. The decoration inside the throne room, as we shall see, with the griffins. It's an animal of Greek mythology, which has the body of a lion, the head of an eagle, and the tail of a snake. We shall see also inside the throne room a place in a lower level with some steps called the lustral basin. It was a place for purification, symbolic purification of the soul. According to mythology, King Minos was the judge of the underworld, very wise. That's why in Hague, in the International Court of Justice, they have set an exact copy of the throne of Minos for the president of the court as a symbol of justice. So we shall follow the corridor. We shall go. We have
It's original, the benches are original. Got a walk-in glass. I think it's got broken glass. The throne room, the original throne, the original position.
on the right, the original throne, the copy here.
Another part of the reconstruction of the Palace of Gnosis. Over there. What's in there? Ooh, the inside of a room. frescoes on the wall there. That's the throne room area. Inside. That's where the throne is.
Characteristic of Minoan architecture, it divides the palace into two wings, the west wing opposite, which had 3 floors, and the east wing here, which had 5 floors. You see the staircase leading to the ground floor, where the royal apartments were. The staircase was made of alabaster, very well preserved. It has a spiral shape and forms a skylight on the right-hand side, characteristic of Minoan architecture. Necessary to provide light and ventilation in the ground floor, like in modern architecture. There is a veranda there, decorated with shields in the figure of number 8. Maybe the guard of the palace was there because of the decoration with shields made of bull hides. It's a copy of this decoration there. We cannot enter and visit the royal apartments. We shall go on from the other side and we shall see by the window the royal apartments. The queen's apartment was decorated with a beautiful fresco representing fishes, dolphins and sea urchins. We shall see a copy. The architecture of the royal apartments was with veranda and skylight. There is also the bathroom of the queen, but we cannot enter to have a look, which is very interesting. The bathtub of the queen is very small, and the Minoans took the bath seated rather than reclined, and they used the bathtubs also as sarcophagi, as coffins, because skeletons have been discovered inside some bathtubs that are exposed in the museums. The position of the dead was the double position, the fetal position, like they were born. Unfortunately, we cannot enter to visit the boudoir of the queen, which is also very interesting. There is a water closet, the water closet of the queen. Outside the threshold of the water closet, it was an opening receiving a clay pipe, bringing continuously running water for the cleaning of the toilet, a kind of flush system, which is very interesting for 1700 BC, showing a very much advanced civilization. The sewage system of this palace is very much advanced. There are different pipes in the skylights for the rainwater, pipes for the drainage system of the toilets, and also for the drinking water of the palace. Very well preserved. We continue.
Here's the sewage system. You're standing on my video.
The gutter?
There's another ancient gutter.
My dad always points out the water tower he designed.
That's what I told
Okay, just listen to his commentary over there. It's bathtub. Hey, wait, I see something. Wait. I don't know if it'll come out in the film, but it says American Standard.
Take Todd with you.
Where are we taking Todd?
Into the bedroom. You
Sorry,
gotta see
man,
the bedroom, Todd.
You're not my type.
Go with Donna.
Ooh, nice amphora jar. Ooh, looks like some of the original paint left on that one. Let's see what else we got over here. Doors, windows. There's the Queen's quarters. Let's see what I can zoom in. There's a jug there or some shit. Got around Donna's head here.
Oh, shut up.
See if we can see the old night scope out. Nothing more.
Around here, skylight down there with sewage system for the rainwaters. In the windows they used parchment, very thin leather covered with olive oil that becomes transparent. This apartment is called the Hall of the Double Axes because we can see the religious symbol of the double axe engraved on the stones of the skylight down there. Maybe you can see it from here on the left of the volume. It's like that, the double axe. This word is called labyrinth in an Anatolian language. So labyrinth comes from the word labyrinth. So the actual meaning of the word labyrinth is the place of the double axes. Of course, today labyrinth means a very complicated place.
All right, there's the hall of the double axes. For the life of me. Oh, there it is. It's an hourglass. Something in there. Another throne, maybe? And graffiti. Back of Donna's head.
And the jars. While in the other palaces, also grains have been discovered at the bottom of the jars. According to a
Largest
legend,
jars in all
Minos
of
had
Europe.
a son who was following a little mouse, and he fell in a big jar like this, filled with honey, and he got drowned in there.
Wow, look at those big jugs.
Think all the beer, that could hold.
Oh, think about the beer, man. Whoa. How many kegs can you fit in there? Oh, more big jugs. Hooters, eat your heart out. Oh, by the way, those are the biggest jugs ever found in Europe.
Here, and the veranda up there was decorated with the fresco of the charging bull. It's a fresco in relief, a copy of course, showing the bull at the moment of the capture. The original of this fresco is considered as the most expressive fresco discovered in the ruins of the palace, showing very well the agony of the bull at that moment. We're going to pass through the building called by Evans the Customs House for the control, according to him, of the people arriving from the harbor. And then we shall continue for the theater of the palace, a small private theater for about 500 people who lived in the palace.
Ancient Minoan dog. Oh, there's the bowl. Take the bowl by the...
On.
We're in
Of
a...
course, the steps are probably
Theater.
too low. There is the opinion that they were standing, watching religious matches and religious ceremonies. It seems it had a religious character. Exactly here, it was a royal box. It was covered, used by the king and the royal family. This theater and the theater of Festus of another Minoan palace are considered as the most ancient theaters in the world made of stone. In the center, you see a paved road 230 meters long, leading from here to the little palace of Knossos, which is on the other side of the modern road, considered as the most ancient road in Europe for the religious processions of the Minoans. The Minoan civilization is the most ancient civilization in Europe. Everything discovered in the palace is exposed in the archaeological museum, which is in the town of Heraklion. The surface of the palace is of 21,000 square meters. Before the excavation, nothing could be seen. It was completely covered with 7 meters of earth, and olive trees were cultivated on the top. But the inhabitant of Heraklion, Minos Kalokerinos, was the first one who discovered some ruins belonging to Knossos. So Evans, when he came, he knew already that the ancient town of Knossos was located here. So we're going out.
This is the most ancient road in Europe. There's a postcard of the fresco we didn't see in the Palace of Minos there. Was it closed? There's Donna doing her favorite thing. Oh, she's actually reading a map. Donna reading a map. That's dangerous. But she's in front of the store. Donna looking at her spend money. Or otherwise increase the Cretan economy. Anything you like, Donna?
Right here. Oh, of course it was one long to take buy it all for me?
No.
Excuse me?
We got a group of women doing what they do. They're on the troll, looking for the bargain. I want one of those signs. I want that sign. These people really obey the law. What does that say? No parking. Those are interesting. Somehow I don't think the ancient Greeks made those things. Questions here, what's going to be the next couple of years at home? Interesting. Venetian style fountain. Put here by the Venetian when the architect. Well, we know that Joe Camel has been banned from the United States. I guess he went to Crete. Also, over here, oh, look at that. Ooh, the Superior Cola. Follow the line to the Superior Cola. This is the marketplace in Crete. Fresh fish. And it smells bad. What you see here is Donna purchasing another suitcase because she bought too much stuff to carry home in her bag. See, we got a whole nother suitcase going in there. You know what they say? What was that, Donna? Donna shop, shop, shop till she dropped. The Greek economy is suddenly going to be much better. The drachma is going to be so strong because Donna has unleashed so many dollars here. And let's see Donna walking out of the shop with her brand new suitcase that she can shop more. Here she comes. Hey Donna, how do you like your new suitcase? Uh-oh. Well, there's the dresser in our cabin. There's Jay's beer. And just wanted to point out that it took us all about 5 minutes to make this cabin like home.
I noticed our selection of drinking.
We got wine.
Academicus.
Yes.
Excellent white wine.
What was it?
Get lost. Then we have Metaxa. Todd's favorite, cognac.
You know that Charles Emerson Winchester III used to like that.
And then of course there's Coca-Cola Light.
The inferior cola. But somewhere, hiding in there, we have the superior cola under practical lock and key. Because we all know it's the superior cola. Don't dent the superior cola. There's the superior cola. Don't do that! That's cola side! I think that's the Turkish cola too. Is that the Turkish one? It should say Istanbul on the side.
Persimmon.
No, it should say Istanbul,
Toujours.
but with a U. So it's Istanbul.
Zawazbi. Yukisel Murphy.
Let me see.
You're not taping this, are you?
No.
You probably already drank and threw out your Turkish one. You drank your Turkish one though. What'd you do with it?
I didn't drink my Turkish one.
Yes, you did.
This is the Turkish one.
Oh, that is?
Yeah, see, it's Istanbul right there.
Okay, whatever. Let's go upstairs.
Oh. Ready?
Let's go upstairs.
The King Minos, very apropos for the island of Crete. Fun.
Where's water?
Walking at the stern of the ship.
we are leaving Crete, the most disappointing leg of our journey. But on to better things. We are setting sail for Santorini.
Hey, Donnie, you have any more words?
Oh yes, as I was saying, here we are, leaving Crete, going towards Santorini, otherwise known as Thera, or the lost city of Atlantis. Our expected arrival time is 4 p.m. this afternoon.
Now, who would want to go there?
Oh, I don't know.
Now, here's a little island with nothing on it. A real
Oh.
waste.
Except for black, tarry beaches, you know, all sorts of volcanic formations. Not to mention the lost city of Atlantis.
Oh, really? I've never heard about that. Well, if I pan over here, I can see that we are leaving Crete. On our way. We are sailing, see? Water is going by. We definitely are moving. We are heading that way. Destination? Thera. That's an interesting little boat there. Oh, honey, do you remember where we left the rent-a-car? This guy's in a pretty big hurry to get where he's going. Let's see the wonderful destination he has ahead of him.
The end of the pier?
I've heard of a long walk off of a short pier. It's a long bike ride off a long pier. Well, there's the end of Crete. We're approaching an island. Big island. Hey, Donna, look, an island over there.
Oh yes, a beautiful island. Take a guess at what island it is. None other than the island of Santorini.
Oh, really? I've heard of that somewhere. Where have I heard that name before?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Think anybody wants to go there? After all, it's the last island on the trip. I think it's just on the way back, don't you think?
I don't know. Maybe a little more than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something to do with a volcano or something or other.
Oh, really? A volcano? Yeah, I can see that those sides of the cliff there look like they've been blasted away. However, it looks like it was a long time now. A long time ago.
Oh yes, I'm sure it was.
Oh, look, there's something up there.
Is that part of the same island over there?
Have to find out what that is. The island of Santorini? Somebody sure has some real estate there. I think they need flood insurance. Moving around with the rock. This is we're coming into the mouth here. That's the inlet. The volcanic island in the center. And over here, the other end of the inlet. Making a big bang. You see over here, the old slope to a volcano. Where they slope upward. All around. Slope upward. Just made a turn, they're heading straight into the little island there. Snow-covered mountains. If that guy put puts up his arms and says, I'm king of the world. I'm gonna be worried. Just another cruise ship there. Panning out. You can see that it's in the caldera of Santorini. There's one big caldera. Looks like they're building houses and stuff on the slopes here. Hey, I wonder if any of these will be for sale soon. Ah, nice prime real estate.
Wouldn't miss this.
This is one of the volcanic islands in the
Yeah, this whole
harbor
thing is
here?
where it blew out right here. See that shape? Hey! Yeah.
All right. There's some snow-covered mountains here.
I wouldn't have missed this for anything in the world. I think I've been all over the globe and never seen anything as beautiful and wondrous as this. How I wish I could become one with this landscape and never leave.
Look how rocky that landscape is. Definitely volcanic.
What do we have over there?
Roads around
See
the
over
sides.
here,
That thing.
it has the one island behind it of
Okay, I
disappearing.
was
It's
already
the
impressed,
contour
but I
of this
remember
island.
this is a caldera.
Theoretically, the moat of Atlantis.
This is Santorini, this is our place,
Going
a very
down.
small island. Athenios is here, the west side, here behind us now. A very small place. Athenios, A-T-I-H-I. Athenios reminds of Athens. Don't be afraid, we are going to explain all the
have to go all the way
details.
up there.
The ruins of a prehistoric city is a kind of a prehistoric Pompeii.
There's our ship.
Well, the term is caldera. We say caldera is a term, a scientific term. It's not a Greek word. As far as I know, it's a Spanish word, caldera. The big and very important excavation on the island. And I'm talking about the other one, which is a very small one, this one, which is called the White Island. Is white. Now we have the light against us and we can see that very well. It has a white layer of pumice, actually. That's why we call it the White Island, or sometimes they call it the Moussaka Island because of all these layers. Anyway, Aspronisi, the Greek name. Aspros means the white. So
That's where we started.
I would put it
We picked up the launch to come up here.
in a different
That's the
way,
road.
saying that on both sides of the road, the grapes. I mean, you don't see the grapes, but you see what we call here the baskets. You know, the Santorinians,
All the round roofs.
they twist the main branch to form something like a basket. Now that you have no leaves, you can see very, you can understand it better. Why? To protect the grapes, which you have to imagine inside this basket, from by the strong north winds. We have very strong north winds, like when was it? 5 days ago. Very strong north winds, very strong, really strong. So this is a very long tradition. You never see the things grow high, let's say so, but especially for the grapes, they have this protection basket, let's say so. The Santorinian wine is very unusual, let's say so, and very important for the economy and the prestige of the island. And I think it's something you should try. I mean, Santorinian wine is like very special because you have the very special soil, the very special volcanic background, and the climate and everything. Red and white, yes. The red is called Visant, no water, but we have the pumice, which can absorb the humidity of the atmosphere, which is big. So without water, this is the Santorinian phenomenon. Without water, you have a big number of cultivations. Okay, today tourism is much more important than the cultivations, but I'm talking about the history of the island and the history. Now, well, this is typical for this island. And number two, the pumice which was being exported. The palace was being exported until years ago, 2 million tons every year for such a small place. Long before tourism had discovered Santorini was everything, was the future of this island. Well, today the future is tourism. But you have to know that as they are now, and is strange, 7 years later, digging in the same place, he died by an accident and is buried in the excavation, which makes the excavation, the whole digging a little bit more unusual. But later, all this in more details. Now I want to show to you, we are here, somewhere here. That's why we see on the right side, again, the west side of the island, the caldera. Now much better. See the two small volcanic islands. We call them the burnt islands, kamennes in Greek, because this is burnt material, nothing. They organize here daily cruises, of course, to see what? To see the dark volcanic material and to walk on this lava and to visit the crater. Well, to be more scientific, there is not just one crater, because in all the books they say, to be more simple, visit the crater of the island in the middle of the caldera on the big island in the middle. That's true. We have under this island one of the active craters of Santorini. So this whole place around the island is full of active craters. And by the way, just to be more scientific, the youngest one and the more dangerous one, okay? At least in theory. 1,000 people. As I told you, 73 square kilometers is one of the small places and has 13 villages, which is a very interesting thing because usually small places have just 1-2 villages, 2 big villages. We have here 13 villages. So for the ones who stay here 2 weeks, 3 weeks, buses are full now. Anyway, and is flat. The digging, the area.
Well, here we are at the Digatera. Eat your heart out.
Number 4.
We're walking in the sheltered archaeological dig. I bet the archaeologists call this digging in style, indoors. But they're not used to that. You can see the layers covering it up. You can see there how some was found.
To make a small introduction. This is a very small part of a very big city. What is the rest? The rest is still inside. Hasn't been discovered, hasn't been excavated yet. So all the experts say that the city, the whole thing, must have been 30 times bigger than what we can see today. Okay? And so this is a huge project, which is going this is a very slow digging. Why? Because of money, just to know. It is still something which is moving every year, but slow. It's a very slow digging. Now, we see how the eruption destroyed and buried a very, very important city. Listen, I'm not talking about the prehistoric village, like usually the case is with the prehistoric things. I mean, you never expect a prehistoric city. You rather expect a prehistoric village. But this is a city. This is a very well-organized society. This is what I want you to know. So, of course, we can't have all the details. And of course, it takes time to know everything. But every step one takes, the more ways are opened to better control this material. We see ruins of houses, first of all, everything is original, of course. Nothing has been reconstructed for us. So what you see is original. You see an original wall. This is original. This is how the archaeologists removed the pumice and how they could rescue what was inside, or not rescue what was inside, because you have to imagine. This is the magic word today, imagine, because you have to imagine a lot. You have to imagine houses in 2, 3, 4-storied houses. Listen, you see just the bottom, because the rest was destroyed by earthquakes before the eruption had started, and which earthquakes had warned the people to abandon this place. So the first difference, comparing this one with the quite famous case of Pompeii we have, is that in this case we have lucky people who, thanks to the earthquakes, can abandon the place before the eruption started. Don't ask. I mean, we don't know the details. Where, how many, how. We can imagine all this. One thing is for sure, no human skeletons. Nothing was left behind. Nothing really important was left behind. All the valuables were taken with. So we are the unlucky ones who have to somehow try to explain all the small things to know the details and to really understand how the whole thing happened. What was left behind? The houses. Thank God, the frescoes inside, which made the whole thing famous. And the frescoes, to make the long story short, without needing to explain blah 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 blah, show how important this and how well organized, just an example, this society was. Try to understand that you have to do with a very important center, trade center, and the whole economy and the wealth was based on exchange of goods, because this is very simple. How else could you explain suddenly this wealth, and not just the wealth, but very sophisticated art? This is how I think one should function, because just, I mean, stones can never be enough. I mean, you have to be an expert, because you have to imagine it well, nice plaster. You have to imagine the wall, and you have to imagine the wooden frames for the windows. You have to imagine the flat roofs. You have to understand that the style would remind of a present-day Cycladic village, and this is very important. Why? Because it's a sign that the present-day Cycladic local style and tradition has the roots 3,500 years back. I mean, if one wants to have the very essence in one sentence and avoid the rest, this is what one should keep in mind. This is the meaning of the whole thing. Everything else is, I mean, we are trying to know more, and we have theories and theories. Now, I mean, between the door and this construction, all these rooms belong to one block of buildings. This is how they cover it. Block of buildings is, or was, a big house, 3 or 4-story house. For many families, this is the concept. You have many middle class, if I can say so, because this is very important. But I have to use this term. Middle class people live together. We have such a type of house. We have a private house for the first class, let's say so, private houses, and we have houses for the authorities. This is how you have to understand the whole thing. Now you have the first block of buildings. Where they found, I'm talking about the room upstairs where you see the window, or where you see the reddish wall still there. They found the boxing children and the antelopes. Could you? Athens. Okay, in the Museum of Athens, a second floor, the famous one, the big one, the National Museum of Athens. And I think it's worth to have a look if one
Wow, look at that preservation. Nice stonework here. No reconstruction. 1, 2, 3 floors.
We have here a very good spot to understand. It's the ideal spot to understand a lot of things. And first of all, to understand that, as I told you, that in this first part of the city, we have the blocks of buildings and we have the buildings for the authorities. The word the archaeologists use is xistis, is a strange word, has to do with ancient Greek, meaning a well-done building. I'm talking about this house, this type of house. Here you can understand how we have 3 different levels. 1, 2, 3, okay? You can understand that the original street level is deeper than most of the people think. That's why sooner or later they come to the misunderstanding that these people used to be that small, that short, which is, of course, you know, not correct. Why? Because we somehow think that we have a street level, and we forget that the street level is under us, is deeper. And I was talking about the optical illusion. Listen, you have to understand that this material, this pumice, made everything, is what makes everything look smaller. Everything has been pressed down, you understand? This is not the original hay. Okay? Of course you have to make it, because what are they doing? They are removing the pumice from the top, and then the method is they somehow know more or less what the building is. They have the missing wooden parts, because wood was burned, disappeared. They try to replace the missing wood with concrete. They have, again, let's say so, the whole construction stable and safe, and then they try to remove the rest of the pumice. This is how they are working, you know, coming from the top. You see? So everything is more than original, is untouched. Some of the people think that this has been reconstructed. No. Nothing has been reconstructed, you know? Using this very clever method of replacing the missing wood with concrete, and if you're lucky, of course you need luck, you don't need to, you just remove the pumice, and you uncover the original thing. Here you are. But then you have to correct it, because you have something original, but has been destroyed somehow. Okay? So this was a building for the authorities. I'm trying to tell you that such a building without windows, you don't need to be an expert to understand that you have a different style. So in buildings like that, you have to imagine, let's say, so the government, to use another well-known term, they gathered here to an organized political gatherings and things like that. So the rest of the building is still in the pumice. This is a very good example to understand the unfinish of the whole task. You see the pumice? It's like we can now take a spoon, and because they use things like spoons. Imagine them small things, because everything. In the pumice, you have to be very careful, because maybe you find something else too. Okay, not just the building. So this is how they have to continue. This is the not good part of the not good side of the digging, where they have the pumice and they have a lot to do. This is the good side. That's why I'm showing the other side. And on the other side, you have the second block of buildings, which now is clearer to understand. The door, the window, everything made of concrete was made of wood. That's it. You have to replace it with wood. And in case you have a very good question like wood on the island, are you kidding? The answer is, I'm not kidding. Never forget that they had very important and close trade relations, exchange relations, first of all with Crete. Not only, but listen, you can't understand anything if you don't have good in mind, I mean, that you have to do with people who already have a very well-organized fleet, to make it more alive, who are pictured here in an expedition to Libya, say the experts, to exchange goods, who have already started to study astronomy to make long trips. I mean, do you understand what I'm talking about? You have such a level, and using these facts, you can improvise about all.
Still on to your side.
Well, I know that the question is beyond all these stones, which can be sometimes to make a presentation of the theories. Most of the experts, let's say, are supporting, and which sound closer to the truth. According to which earthquakes. This was the very first thing. Earthquakes. All of a sudden, earthquakes. Well, all of a sudden, you have here people who know about earthquakes, of course. So, but this time the earthquakes continue and continue, and they start to feel like a little bit scared. They organize in all these authorities' houses, let's say so, gatherings, and they decide to abandon the town. Some people ask me, why? What does it mean? They saw their houses being not that safe anymore. They were scared. So there was just one solution, to stay here and risk it, or to go. They had ships, knowledge, why not? They take everything with and they go. Don't ask me to work. Suppose to Crete, they had very close relations, not just to other Cycladic islands, to Egypt. We have here, they found blue monkeys, who live still today in Ethiopia. I mean, they are people who have their contacts. But nothing happened then. They moved away and nothing happened. And some of them came back. This is the key now in the whole thing. Some of them came back. Who? The young ones. The ones who have nothing better to do. The ones who want to risk it. The thieves. This is how Marinatos called these people. The thing is that as of course, they decided to reconstruct the city. And as they were working in the ruins, this is the last picture we have. This is how they describe it. The experts are describing the whole thing. Imagine them working, freeing the streets and reconstructing the houses. Suddenly, new earthquakes started. Same reaction. They moved away. And after some months, we don't know exactly, 2 months, 2 weeks, 1 year maximum, the eruption came. Found the city empty, abandoned. Of course, one could say, wait a minute, maybe this is just 1/30th. Maybe in the rest, in the hidden part, is something to show that the theory is not correct. Okay, But all the signs until now say that no one was left here. No valuables here, nothing. They took all the tools and jewelry and everything and moved away because they expected such a big eruption. Which eruption created the color? Imagine what kind of eruption this one, and covered everything. It was like a pumice rain. Imagine a rain of pumice. Like a dust, started like dust and then became rain, and then everything was covered up, and this was the end. Now, the only eruption which belongs to the same type and which could be helpful to study this one is the Krakatoa case. 30-something thousand victims, and much smaller than this one. And some of them, most of them, were already on the ships, but because of the gases, you have a big number of scenarios. We don't know. We know that the women in the city here were very handsome. Very important thing. So,
But you can't do it outside.
so these two women make the whole thing more alive because you don't have something very abstract. You have two young women found in the very back of this house. Very interesting. In the very back of this house, I call it house, is unfinished, never mind, was a private house. You see that we have a different style. I mean, you could imagine a different level in this society. They belong to the aristocracy. They remind of the Minoan women. I'm talking about Crete, of course, with all these close relations. You expect to have a lot of common things, okay? It's not that important now to see what is the difference. They call it the house of the ladies, just because of the fact that they found the ladies inside and not because of the function of the house. You understand, this is a typical question. We have sometimes interesting details which could be studied and maybe show how the whole thing happened. It's very interesting that we don't have just the archaeologists. If you get closer, I have to learn to... Oh my... the interesting thing is that you don't have just the archaeologists working here. The archaeologists sometimes are very boring. You have all these experts working together. You understand? So, I'm not an expert myself, but I was lucky to see them working and saying, for example, and trying by how the staircase was destroyed to discover how the whole thing happened. And all these facts to have somehow, to form somehow a picture we want to have about this destruction. Two more steps. Of course, this is new. This is just to support the original wall. Of course, this is new. This is not to support the original wall, but this is what replaced the original material. That's why it has been painted wooden. Is concrete, cement. And this is the best example.
Ooh, look in there. The basins.
This is a very good,
More stairs in there.
this is the best preserved part of the excavation, and this is the best opportunity to really have the picture
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to give you. This is a triangle square, I would say untouched. The only difference is that the original street level, again, I have to say that, is under our feet, is deeper. That's why sometimes the street level looks like basement. I mean, there was no basement. I mean, these rooms were street level. This is the best preserved building, and I call it a miracle. So well preserved. 3,500 years old is a little bit, is the exception. To be
Down the
honest.
street.
Not original, all these concretes to of course, support the original wall. Everything else is original, and of course not original is the concrete for the frames, but is giving an idea of the wooden original frame, okay? Everything else, you have one level, two, and maybe one more. And of course you have a rich family. You can feel that, right? You have the house really controlling this open area. And of course, if in case you don't, you can see that this makes everything easier. They found in this house more paintings, of course, upstairs. They found in this house the most important wall painting, the one showing the expedition of the Santorinians to Libya, say the experts. Don't ask me now, how do I know that we have Libya and not Egypt? Experts say so. This is a very long story. The thing is that you have history. You don't have two women, you don't have two boxing children, you don't have a blue monkey. You have someone who's trying to tell us a story. So you are touching history here. And of course you are touching the private life of the guy, of the owner, who was maybe the leader of this expedition. Who was, I don't know, the producer of it. I don't know, but why not? You have to try to think like that. In the same house they found the very famous fisherman. All this is enough. All this in my book is enough. I'm going to come into my book, which is the book I have. The two guys, all this behind the big window is very interesting, the process of trying to uncover the details, of trying to explain. I'm trying to tell you that you have not all the details. We try to have more light in the video. And this is, I think, very interesting, than knowing everything and just having to review it. The essence remains the same. The style, the texture remains the same. This is now new.
Some sort of basin there. Looking over the second floor.
This one is in the museum, and we will start from this condition musical. That these two beds will be, I don't know how it is.
That's the triangle square. So you can see how it's second floor. Two-story building. Working out.
Number two is the grave of the guy who discovered the whole thing, and we are going to talk about all this in the bus a little bit, who was it and how, and all this is interesting. But I want you to have a look what it is, and where he had the accident. Behind the big window, I mean, in case you want to see all this, you have to just put some leaves on, and what you see the leaves is the grave of Mr. Marinatus, who died.
Those are
He fell
beds
down,
that were
nobody was next to him. I mean, they
poured
just
like
heard
like
this
concrete
strange
molds,
hook
like what they did
sound,
at
and they found him dead.
Pompeii.
I say to my people, he was lucky to die like this, because Mr. Marinatus was, I mean, his whole soul was involved, because
Here's a better shot of those beds.
changed. Not everything what Marinatus says
He said that there's a picture in
in
April
his
'74
books can be
Geographic.
accepted today, but more or less, he is, before you go, to have a look at the house, this well-preserved house, to understand how big it was, because here,
Just incredible. Much better preserved than Pompeii or Herculaneum. Much better preserved. Hey Donna, what do you think?
Oh, wonderful. This will be great when it's all done. Better than Pompeii, Herculaneum.
Really? You think so?
Absolutely.
Boy, something you shouldn't miss, huh?
No.
Bye-bye.
The present-day village we call Akrotiri. Okay. Now, all these areas on the right side between the ruins and the village belong to the prehistoric city. It's the unexcavated part of the city. Now to understand everything better. I'm talking about the coming soon better. Because you should have, must have been the rhyme, very important for the exchange with Crete. Again, the caldera. Now you can understand better that maybe the last part of the city was where the present-day village is, and even higher where the volcano started. So why not to continue saying such a way of thinking, but nothing has been proved. We don't even know if the words of Plato have to be taken serious. I mean, if he was talking about something which had existed, or if he was just trying to give an example, to give a presentation of these political ideas and used fiction. I mean, this Atlantis which never existed, the ideal state. Others say, which is very clever, that according to the tidal waves created by the big eruption destroyed Crete or not. I mean, we have a small problem with the dating, you know, because in the beginning, Marinatos was, I mean, this is how he started with the whole thing, trying to prove that Crete was destroyed. I mean, the right knows, say, half an hour. The other, as it is the beginning of the season, is very nice to walk and really enjoy the sunset, and of course have a look in the shops. Not all the shops are open, but it's nice. If you go straight to the cable car station, it takes, I would say...
Donna Winkling in Santorini. Typical Santorini street. See a lot of arched roofs. One of the reasons we know these people are advanced and have style is the cars they drive in Santorini. That's our ship way down there. Look how high up we are. More style, more grace. Ooh, this is a nice one. Hey, I got the same steering wheel. This is the marketplace of Santorini. Is it windy now? Hell of a view from market, huh? Little side street in Santorini. I don't know. We've been seeing this girl on the entire trip. A little bottom heavy, witness that? Everybody knows this dude. It's really funny. It's been a cruise joke.
Wow, you know, those ruins were just something, weren't they? I mean, it just brought it all to life. I mean, I've seen all the others around Greece, around the world for that matter, but nothing like the ruins of Santorini. It's so mystical. You know, the only word I can come up with is haunting. Haunting, you know, and look at this.
Better than Pompeii.
Better than Pompeii, and look at this.
Better than Herculaneum.
Oh, you got to be kidding me! And look at this beautiful bay with the sunset and the view. You know something? I can die now. I've been to Santorini.
Okay, since you can't come to Santorini, we're giving a little Santorini to you. So you don't feel totally left out.
We are way up here. There's our kind waitress bringing us Lataxa.
There we go.
I hope the sunset comes out. So far, it's actually absolutely beautiful. There's a little tender we have to take to go back to the boat. There's the temple of the Zeus Olympian. Got Corinthian columns up there. That one's not very good. One there, look at that. There we go. Good shape. Now panning around over here. There's two other columns. And over here, there's the Acropolis. And zoom in up to the this zoom lens is pretty good. It's our old friend the Parthenon. There's the back of Donna's head. Another view of the Acropolis. It's big. This is one of the toppled columns. You can see the size. Closer to the upright. Huge. Donna being Her Royal Highness in a upper class seat in the theater of Dionysian. Wow, boy, she's enjoying this just a little bit too much. I guess we could call her a Jap in Greece.
I'll just sit here while you go see the rest of the place.
Am I permitted
What?
to go see the rest of the place?
Yeah?
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
We have some ruling class seats down here, right in the front. There's the special seats up there, box seats. In the theater of Dionysian. And the amazing part is, we know exactly who owned these seats. Nowadays they sell them to corporations. They did the same things back then. Sold them to people. Your own personal seat. And up here we have that spooky thing. There's a stoa in the theater of Dionysian. There's Donna on it. He's looking down on the theater of Dionysian. They're about halfway up the hill to the Acropolis. There's the altar there in the center. Part of the stoa. That guy looks interesting. We're going up to there. That is weird. This is that spooky hole in the side of the Parthenon. You can see that thing with the tinfoil is still here. That table is still here. All those weird things. The theater of Dionysian from the top of that spooky thing. And take a look at the graffiti over here. You can see that somebody was here in 1860. It's a Roman arch on the side of the Roman theater. You can see how it's all put together. There's the inside of the Roman theater. It's still in use today. All the seats have been reconstructed, of course. In fact, you can see a man working down there. Probably setting up for a concert or something. Over here, you can see the Temple of Athena Nike. And the front end of the Parthenon. There's the front end of the Parthenon with an ancient Greek crane sticking out the top. This is the top of a Roman arch. You can see the keystone right here, how it's wedged in. How the cuts are all at angles. Very interesting. This is the best preserved Greek temple. Obviously this barrel vaulting was added later. That's the other side to the colonnade. Take a look up here. The original coffered ceilings still exist. The reason this was preserved so well because it was converted to a Roman Catholic church very early on. Got the original friezes that survive up there. This temple actually served as a model for the construction of the Parthenon. Take a look. It's right over there. They're looking right across the Agora at the Acropolis. There appears to be some sort of rubble inside. I'm not quite sure. There's a barrel vault. This gentleman that works here just said that this has never toppled. This is original as it is. You can see some of the columns are knocked askew because of earthquakes. Don't quite line up. There's Donna taking in some rays. Take a look down this colonnade here. Very nice. The ceiling is fallen. You can see some of the coffering on the ceiling has been destroyed. Very nice. Oh, there's a column that's been knocked askew by earthquakes. There's a few over here too. You can see some style of crosses. That's an interesting style. What is that? Crusader, possibly? Who knows? Definitely early Christian. The friezes are remarkably well preserved. You can see the coffered ceilings. This is on the interior colonnade. Standing out here, you can see these columns must have been replaced because they must have gotten so weak. Fascinating. You can see here how the porticos are constructed. You got some beams with the coffering and the ceilings between them. There's a piece straddling the beams. I guess the coffering was also to make it lighter. Also has a very nice architectural feature. The center friezes on this portico are even better preserved. You can see the coffering there, walking around the column. And that's looking out towards the Acropolis, which is off to the right. Donna saw an ancient public toilet and she just couldn't resist herself. So Donna, is it a lot more comfortable than the modern footprints?
No.
Oh, okay. We have a rate and a judge. Oh well. Rat Tower in the winds. You can see the relief illustrating the winds. An octagon-shaped structure. That's what it used to look like. And we're in the Roman Forum. There's Donna. looking inside the tower. It's a little hard to focus because of these dumb bars in the way. Ah, darn. But really something interesting. Got some relief there. What do you think of the Tower of the Winds, Donna?
Oh, it's just beautiful.
Of course. Detail, obviously part of a door jamb. There may be a relief. Or a frieze. A relief frieze. Could this be part of the channels that regulated the flow of water in the Tower of the Winds? It's possible. Take a look over here. Late Roman carvings. Very well preserved. Here's another angle of the Tower of the Winds. You can see better here. Each figure representing the winds. And down here, it appears to be a cistern or a place for a statue to have been. However, more like a cistern. There are some rays on the side of the building here that show a sundial of some sort. Some more over here. Coming right off that center point there. Very conveniently happens to be a hole. We have the Tower of the Winds here. And zooming up there, we have one corner of the Erechtheum. Two civilizations, one panoramic shot. There's that monument again. Definitely Roman construction. We now are on top of our second hotel in Athens, the Athens Gate Hotel. Got a nice view of Zeus, the Olympian ruins. And where is it? Oh, there it is. There's the original Olympic Stadium. And just standing in place and turning around. There's the Acropolis. We got that other monument where they took some pictures of the Acropolis. And then that monastery over there. Where it takes the cable car off. Oh, the restaurant by Anisha. Ooh, love that zoom. There's the main drag of Athens. Hadrian's Gate. We're in the middle of everything. Right, Donna? We're in the middle of everything right here.
Yep.
Perfect, eh?
Got a perfect view of all the sights. If only I knew about this morning. I wouldn't have had to go anywhere.
Uh-oh. Sunset in Athens. Pretty, huh? Oh, I just opened up the little screen. It's gonna come out good. I just opened up the little screen. It's gonna come out good. Oh, there goes the sun for our last day in Athens, Donna. Donna's already relaxed.
The only thing we forgot was the wine. I
Well-
guess we'll have to have that later.
Well, we had to rush up here because whose brilliant idea was it to come up here?
Oh, excuse me. Just because you happened to notice that the sun was setting.
Oh, brilliant idea, wouldn't you say?
Oh, of course, except that you're blocking the changing colors of the sky now.
Oh. Down comes the colors for tonight.
I have a hotel.
Robert.
That's amazing.
Flag's already down.
They're doing something strange. I think they'll...
They're standing around it.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
See you later. So beautiful. That's where we went today. All the way up in there. There's the Theater Dionysian. There's the Roman Theater. Over here, oh, our columns aren't lit up yet. Neither is the Olympic Stadium. So this is the Acropolis at night. The sun has just gone down. No, they haven't lit up the theater yet. Theater's still dark. However, they just lit up the column. Incredibly beautiful. There's the Olympic Stadium. There's that hill that we ate at. Trying to focus. What you think, Donna?
Beautiful. Now let's go. And they still haven't paid the electric bill.
Yeah, the Parthenon needs more power. Looks like neither has the Roman theater. There's that monastery. Oh, that's not it. That's it up there. Standing down here. There's Zeus the Olympian. Olympic Theater. Wow, this zoom lens sure is incredible. There's Donna.
Drinking by herself because Todd's too busy playing with the camcorder.
Can you repeat that again, Donna Do?
I said drinking by myself because Todd's too busy playing with the camcorder.
Oh.
And here we have Todd playing with his camera, taking his night photos of that building over there.
The most beautiful building in the world.
Yeah, let me just, roll that up there so you can actually see it, because it's not even lit up.
The most beautiful building in the world can't pay its electric bill. Or it needs its beauty sleep.
And there we have the city just floating in the air over there.
There's more cities floating over there.
And up there we have that big hill where we were up the other night. And I can't even keep this still.
Hello!
At night up there is cold and windy. At night it's warm. Of course, now that we're leaving, the weather turns beautiful. And here we have some more columns lit up. Although from this you can tell that the first one's the odd man out. Now, since soon Todd will be taking his pictures for that.